Have you ever felt that moment when you're sleeping peacefully and suddenly your leg tightens with a sharp, twisting pain that pulls you out of bed before you even have time to think? A patient once shared that these early morning cramps left her sitting on the edge of her mattress in the dark, holding her breath, wondering why they seemed to hit harder now that she was over 60. And I want you to imagine this for a moment. You wake up gently, shift your foot just a little, and out of nowhere, a deep, gripping spasm locks your calf in place. If you've ever experienced something like this, I want you to know you're not alone. Many older adults fear that these sudden cramps are signs that their body is wearing down or aging too quickly. But the truth is far more reassuring. These cramps are not failures. They are messages. Your body is speaking to you long before a bigger problem develops, and understanding those messages can make all the difference. What makes these episodes so unsettling is how unpredictable they feel. Why do these cramps strike more often after age 60? Why do they seem to appear the moment you wake up? And why does the pain feel sharper and deeper than anything you remember from your younger years? These questions trouble so many seniors, and the answers are rarely explained clearly. There is a real, surprising trigger behind these early morning cramps, one that most people have never been told about. Doctors often mention hydration or electrolytes, and while those can play a part, they are only pieces of a much bigger story. The truth involves changes in circulation, muscle sensitivity, nighttime nerve activity, and the way the body shifts as we age. When you understand these deeper patterns, the fear begins to fade and a sense of control returns. I think often about a woman who lived with morning leg cramps for nearly 10 years, believing she simply had to endure them. When she finally learned the true reason behind her wake-up pain, everything changed. She felt empowered, she felt hopeful, and she realized she didn't have to suffer alone. Before we continue, take a moment to subscribe, like, and share Senior Health Daily so you never miss the information that can support your health and independence. What actually happens during a leg cramp after 60? When a leg cramp strikes after 60, it rarely feels like a small inconvenience. Seniors often describe it as a sudden bolt that shoots through the calf or foot, twisting the muscle into a painful knot. What's happening inside the body in that moment is more complex than most people realize. A cramp is not just a muscle tightening. It is an involuntary contraction that refuses to let go. The muscle fibers squeeze so tightly that the body struggles to relax them. It feels as if the muscle has turned into a clenched fist, and no matter how much you want it to release, it holds on until it decides to let go. As we age, the muscles we depend on become more reactive. They are still capable and strong, but they lose some of the soft elasticity they once had. Muscle fibers stiffen slightly over time, and this stiffness makes them more vulnerable to sudden contractions. Imagine a rubber band that has been used for many years. It still stretches, but it doesn't stretch the way it used to. It becomes easier to overstretch it and harder for it to snap back into place. In the same way, older muscles can react suddenly when they are tired, cold, or deprived of oxygen. One of the reasons leg cramps strike when someone wakes up is the body's natural shift during sleep. Muscles remain still for hours at a time. They cool slightly. They tighten without you feeling it. This quiet tightening grows through the night until it reaches a threshold where the smallest movement, the lightest stretch of the foot, or even a shift in sleep position can set the muscle off. I often tell my patients that nighttime stillness turns their muscles into tightly wound springs. When morning comes and they move even a little, that spring releases all at once. Circulation also plays an important role. During the early morning hours, especially between 3 and 6 o'clock, blood flow to the legs is at its lowest. The heart beats more gently. The legs receive less oxygen than they do during the day. Aging arteries add to this effect. When the muscle wakes before the circulation fully catches up, the lack of oxygen can trigger a sharp cramp. It is not a sign of something catastrophic. It is simply a signal that the muscle needs more support than it is receiving in those early hours. The nervous system becomes more sensitive with age as well. As people grow older, the nerves that control their muscles fire more easily. This sensitivity is why seniors feel cramps more intensely and more frequently than younger adults. The stages of sleep also influence this sensitivity. During light sleep, when the body hovers between dreaming and waking, nerve signals are more reactive. A small movement that would go unnoticed at noon can trigger a painful contraction at dawn. I once cared for a man in his 70s who told me he dreaded waking up. He said the cramps felt like an ambush, like his body was turning against him. But when he learned what was happening underneath the pain, his fear softened. He told me later that understanding the physiology made him feel like he had a partner in his own healing instead of an enemy he didn't understand. That shift in perspective changed everything for him. He went from helplessness to awareness, and then from awareness to control. Another woman I worked with explained that her morning cramps felt worse in the winter. When we talked through her routine, she realized that her room stayed colder overnight. Her muscles tightened more while she slept, making the cramp more violent when she moved in the morning. A simple change like adding a light blanket or warming her legs before bed made a remarkable difference. The body often responds beautifully to small acts of care. Leg cramps after 60 are painful, yes, but they are also profoundly revealing. They show how the body changes with age, how sensitive it becomes, how responsive it still is, and how much it wants to communicate. Once seniors understand what is actually happening inside the muscle, the fear begins to lift. They begin to realize that their body is not betraying them, it is asking for support. The shocking wake-up trigger. Doctors rarely explain. Now that you understand what is happening inside the muscle during a leg cramp after 60, let's move into something most people have never been told. There is a specific wake-up trigger behind these early morning cramps, and it involves a combination of quiet changes that build hour by hour while you sleep. These changes work together in ways that catch seniors off guard, especially after age 60, when the body becomes more sensitive to even the smallest shifts. One of the most powerful underlying causes is the early morning circulation drop. Many seniors notice that cramps strike between 3 and 6 o'clock in the morning, and that timing is not random. During these hours, blood flow to the legs naturally slows. The heart pumps more gently, the blood moves more sluggishly through aging arteries. Varicose veins make it harder for blood to travel upward. Stiffer vessel walls reduce the amount of oxygen the muscles receive. The result is a state where the muscle is not fully nourished, and the nerves are more reactive. When you wake and stretch the foot even slightly, the muscle contracts sharply because it is starved for oxygen, and the nerves fire too quickly. To help seniors visualize this, I often say the muscle is like a plant that hasn't had water through the night. When morning comes, it reacts to the slightest stimulus because it is dry and sensitive. Understanding this alone brings so much clarity to people who felt confused or frightened by the timing of their cramps. Another factor that often goes unnoticed is sleep position. Many people sleep with their knees bent, their toes pointing downward, or their ankles twisted slightly without realizing it. These positions shorten the calf muscle for hours. As the muscle shortens and remains still, it becomes more prone to sudden contraction. Seniors often tell me their cramps feel like the muscle has been waiting to attack, and in a way, it has been waiting. The prolonged shortening sets the stage for a sudden release of tension that comes in the form of a painful cramp. Mattress softness also plays a role. A soft mattress can cause the hips to sink, which twists the lower back and alters the alignment of the leg nerves. When the nerves are compressed during sleep, they fire more unpredictably when you wake and move. I remember a patient who endured terrible cramps for nearly 5 years. We discovered that her favorite soft mattress was misaligning her hips just enough to irritate her leg nerves. Once she switched to a firmer mattress and used a small pillow under her knees, she told me she felt like she had been handed back her mornings. Silent dehydration is another major piece of the puzzle. Many older adults intentionally drink less water in the evening to avoid nighttime bathroom trips. While this is understandable, the result is mild dehydration that builds quietly over several hours. A dehydrated muscle is an irritable muscle. When dehydration combines with stillness, cold muscle tissue, and reduced circulation, it creates the perfect storm for a dawn cramp. This is why so many seniors describe the pain as sudden and explosive. Mineral imbalance is another hidden cause no one talks about clearly. People hear about potassium, but magnesium is often the real missing piece for older adults. Magnesium helps the muscle relax. Calcium helps the muscle contract. When magnesium is low, the balance between the two is disrupted, and the muscle contracts too strongly and releases too slowly. Hidden vitamin D deficiency also contributes because vitamin D controls how the body uses calcium. Even small deficiencies can worsen cramps significantly. Medications complicate this further. Diuretics flush out magnesium. Cholesterol medications can irritate muscles. Blood pressure drugs can alter the way nerves and muscles communicate. Asthma medications can increase nerve sensitivity. Seniors often think their age is the cause of the cramps, when in reality, a medication they've been taking for years may be influencing their nightly muscle behavior. Another factor that quietly affects seniors is inflammation. Chronic low-grade inflammation makes the muscles more sensitive and the blood vessels less flexible. Seniors who frequently eat processed foods, sleep poorly, or sit for long periods during the day may unknowingly be adding to this inflammatory environment. When the body is inflamed, the nerves fire sooner, the muscles contract harder, and cramps become more frequent. Peripheral artery disease, also known as PAD, is another contributor that many seniors overlook. PAD narrows the arteries of the legs, reducing blood flow. While many people think PAD only causes pain when walking, it can also cause nighttime and early morning cramps. The body struggles to send enough blood to the legs while lying down, leading to pain at rest. Seniors should take special note if their cramps come with cold feet, numbness, or pain that occurs only on one side. Some seniors confuse restless leg syndrome with true leg cramps. Restless leg syndrome feels like an urge to move, a buzzing or crawling sensation. A cramp is a sharp contraction that stops movement. The distinction matters because treating one will not fix the other. Once seniors learn the difference, they can finally address the right problem. Daytime habits also create morning cramps. Long periods of sitting without stretching shorten the calf muscles. Afternoon overexertion leaves muscles tired and reactive by morning. Even simple things like standing for long periods while cooking or cleaning can accumulate strain in muscles that are already aging and less elastic. Your muscles behave like tightly wound springs after hours of stillness. When you stand up or flex your toes in the morning, that spring releases with force. When circulation is slow, nerves are sensitive, hydration is low, and the muscles are tight. The result is a painful cramp. Before we continue, if this video is helping you understand your health, please subscribe, like, and share Senior Health Daily. It gives us the motivation to create more life-saving content for you. All of these hidden factors create the shocking wake-up trigger so many seniors experience. But the good news is that once you understand what creates the cramp, you can take steps to prevent it. And there are simple, practical actions you can begin tonight that can soften your morning and restore your peace. What seniors can do tonight. Now that you understand the reasons behind these sudden morning leg cramps, I want to guide you into something far more comforting. The simple steps you can take tonight to ease your muscles, calm your nerves, and help your body wake up with less pain and more confidence. Most seniors are surprised when they learn that relief doesn't require dramatic changes. In fact, the body responds beautifully to gentle, steady actions that tell your muscles you are caring for them. One of the first things I teach my patients is how to release a cramp safely when it strikes. Many people tense up or try to stand too quickly, which only makes the contraction stronger. Instead, I encourage a slow breath and a gentle movement that lifts the foot upward, so the toes move toward the shin. This motion stretches the calf in a way that signals the contraction to release. It may feel uncomfortable for a moment, but within seconds, the pain begins to soften. Some seniors find comfort in placing a warm towel on the calf before bed. Heat relaxes the muscle fibers and reduces the chance of a sudden contraction. If a cramp wakes you suddenly, a cool pack can soothe the lingering tenderness after it releases. The way you position your legs at night matters more than most people realize. When the knees are slightly bent and the legs rest on a soft pillow, the muscles across the calves and ankles stay relaxed instead of shortening through the night. This simple shift helps prevent the tightening that leads to morning cramps. Side sleepers can place a pillow between the knees to keep the hips aligned, which reduces stress on the lower leg muscles. I once worked with a man who suffered nightly cramps for nearly 2 years. We discovered that changing his pillow placement made all the difference. 2 weeks later, he told me he couldn't remember the last time he woke up in pain. Hydration is another gentle correction that can bring immediate relief. Seniors often limit water in the evening to avoid nighttime bathroom trips, which is completely understandable. But mild dehydration makes muscles irritable and increases nerve sensitivity. Instead of drinking a large amount late at night, I recommend consistent hydration throughout the day, followed by a gradual taper in the evening. A few small sips of water before bedtime are usually enough to keep the muscles calmer without disrupting sleep. It is a simple shift that can make a noticeable difference. Nutrition also plays a role. Magnesium is one of the most important minerals for muscle relaxation, yet many seniors are low in it without knowing. Foods such as leafy greens, nuts, legumes, and small portions of whole grains offer a natural boost. Some older adults also benefit from a gentle magnesium supplement, but this should always be discussed with a doctor. An evening snack with magnesium, paired with a warm beverage like herbal tea, helps quiet the muscles before bed. Some people sleep better when their legs stay warm through the night. Warm socks, light fleece blankets, or a small heat pack near the calves can prevent the muscles from cooling and tightening. Aging muscles respond very well to warmth because warmth improves circulation and reduces nerve reactivity. I often think of a woman who told me her cramps vanished the moment she started wearing soft socks to bed. She said it felt like her legs were finally being hugged. It is also important to recognize when leg cramps signal something more serious. Cold lower legs, swelling that appears on one side, persistent numbness, or cramping that occurs even when you're resting during the day can indicate circulation problems or nerve issues that should be checked by a doctor. Seniors with diabetes need to be even more watchful because neuropathy can disguise itself as cramping or sudden tightness. Identifying these signs early helps prevent complications and ensures you receive the right kind of care. For many seniors, a simple medical review brings enormous relief. A few basic blood tests can check magnesium, vitamin D, calcium, and other electrolytes that support muscle health. A circulation test can reveal whether the arteries in the legs are delivering enough oxygen. Medication reviews often uncover hidden contributors to cramping, such as diuretics that drain minerals or cholesterol medications that irritate the muscles. In some cases, a sleep study can reveal nighttime breathing patterns or nerve disturbances that trigger cramps. The most comforting message I can give you is that your body responds beautifully to small, consistent acts of care. Seniors often believe that pain is inevitable after 60, but that simply is not true. When you support your muscles through warmth, hydration, alignment, and gentle movement, the body responds with less reactivity and more resilience. Before we continue, if this video is helping you understand your health, please subscribe, like, and share Senior Health Daily. It truly gives me the motivation to create more life-saving content for you. Caring for your legs tonight is not about perfection. It is about patience and presence. It is about telling your body, you are not alone, I'm listening, and I'm here to help you. These small nighttime habits can transform the way you wake up tomorrow and every day after. They help you shift from fear to confidence, from pain to comfort, and from uncertainty to control. Long-term prevention. Now that you understand what you can do tonight to ease your muscles and calm those morning cramps, I want to guide you towards something even more meaningful, a long-term approach that helps your legs feel stronger, safer, and less reactive as the weeks go by. This part often surprises seniors because they assume their muscles are too old to change. But that is not true at all. Even after 60, the body can learn, heal, and adapt when it receives the right kind of steady support. One of the most powerful things you can do is create a gentle stretching rhythm that becomes part of your daily life. Not the kind of stretching people picture in a fitness class, but slow movements that tell the muscles you are giving them the time and care they need. Aging muscles love consistency. They soften with kindness. They respond to slow, deliberate motions that help them release tension built up from sitting, walking, standing, and even sleeping. Many seniors are astonished when they discover that just a few minutes of stretching in the morning and a few minutes before bed dramatically reduces the intensity of their cramps. The body learns safety through repetition, and repetition is your friend here. Your daily habits matter more than you may think. Eating in a way that reduces inflammation is one of the most powerful long-term tools for managing leg cramps after 60. Inflammation acts like a quiet storm in the body. It affects how blood flows, how nerves fire, and how muscles contract. When you introduce more vegetables, healthy fats, and clean proteins into your routine, while slowly reducing processed foods and sugary snacks, you are calming that storm. You are giving your muscles an environment where they can relax instead of react. Over time, the difference can feel like night and day. Strengthening the calves, feet, and ankles is another important step. Seniors often underestimate how strong these muscles can still become. When the lower legs are stronger, they support the rest of the leg with more stability, and a stable muscle is far less likely to spasm. Simple movements like rising slowly onto the toes, holding for a breath, and lowering again build gentle strength without strain. Rotating the ankles or flexing the toes also keeps the smaller muscles of the feet active. These movements help retrain your legs to handle everyday activity with more control and confidence. Some of my patients find that focusing on circulation throughout the day has transformed their nights. Good circulation is like fresh air for your muscles. Without it, the tissues stiffen and the nerves grow overly sensitive. By adding a few minutes of easy movement into your morning and evening routines, you encourage healthy blood flow that lasts throughout the night. Light walking, ankle circles, slow marching in place, or gently swinging the legs while seated all support circulation without overwhelming the body. These actions serve as signals that invite your muscles to relax and feel safe. These long-term habits are subtle, but over weeks and months, they create meaningful change. I remember a senior who told me he had lived with morning cramps for over 15 years. He assumed they were simply part of getting older. When he committed to stretching, hydration, circulation habits, and small dietary shifts, he was stunned by the results. After just 6 weeks, he said his legs felt looser, lighter, and far less reactive. He told me the fear he used to carry into bedtime was fading, replaced by a quiet sense of confidence. Building a long-term prevention plan is also about paying attention to your body with patience instead of frustration. Some mornings will feel better than others, and that is normal. What matters is the overall direction. You are teaching your body a new rhythm. You are strengthening areas that have been neglected for years. You are gently reducing inflammation. You are giving your muscles room to breathe and move. You are creating a healthier environment inside your legs, one day at a time. With every choice you make, you are telling your body that you are listening. You are saying, I am here, I care for you, and I want to help you feel better. This relationship with your body is powerful, particularly in the later decades of life. Many people believe the body stops responding after a certain age, but that belief is rooted in fear, not truth. The body continues to adapt even in our 60s, 70s, and beyond. Strength can grow, flexibility can return, circulation can improve, pain can lessen, and confidence can flourish in ways that transform how you move through your days and nights. What I love most about long-term prevention is that it gives you back the sense of control that morning cramps often steal. When you understand what your body needs and you begin giving it those small acts of care consistently, you start to feel like yourself again. You sleep with more ease. You wake with less worry. And you begin to trust your legs again, not as fragile parts of an aging body, but as strong foundations that have carried you through a lifetime and still have so much left to give. Your body never stops listening. Even after 60, it learns, it heals, it adapts, and it responds with remarkable resilience when you support it with patience and compassion. These long-term habits are not just instructions. They are invitations to reconnect with your body in a deeper, kinder way. As we reach the end of our time together, I want to remind you of something truly important. Morning leg cramps are not signs that your body is failing you. They are messages, gentle signals asking for attention, support, and understanding. When you learn to listen to them with patience instead of fear, the experience becomes less frightening and far more empowering. Your legs have carried you through so many chapters of life. They have supported you through hard work, joyful moments, family milestones, and quiet everyday routines. They deserve compassion for all they have done. They deserve your gratitude. And they deserve steady care as you continue moving forward. There is real hope here. Even after 60, your muscles respond beautifully to kindness. They soften with warmth. They relax with stretching. They wake up more gently when you hydrate, position yourself mindfully at night, and keep your circulation flowing. These small steps add up, and they have the power to transform your mornings in ways you may not have believed possible. You never have to face these mornings alone. Senior Health Daily is here with you, walking this journey beside you, offering guidance, comfort, and encouragement each week. This community exists so you can feel supported, informed, and understood. Your body still listens, it still responds, and it still wants to carry you forward with strength, grace, and resilience. Trust that. Trust yourself. And trust that brighter, more peaceful mornings are absolutely within reach. Thank you for spending this time with me today. I am honored to be part of your path toward better health, and I look forward to supporting you in the days ahead.